one thing that happens is when you are forced to slow down, your body starts to tell you things and you start to feel so tired and exhausted. And I just didn't know what to do with that stillness or that exhaustion.
Stepping into that change unapologetically. I shrunk myself to fit into spaces that didn't serve me. She just moves at a whole different pace.
I think for me, a growth has been accepting that we live two different lifestyles. She's one of my sisters that always seem to have it together.
I'm walking in my truth. I'm walking in more self-awareness and more comfortability with who I am and who I've become. There was no real safe space held for those courageous conversations or those real conversations. It's not easy.
Hey Village, it is Showa and Aisha here, and we are so excited to be kicking off our first episode of the Queen B.E.E Talks Podcast. Our episode today is all about our journey into this project, into this nonprofit, into this world of being entrepreneurs. And we're so excited to have a real raw conversation as sisters. And if you've ever come to a Queen B.E.E Talks, which we'll get into in a second, we always check in to make sure we know what's going on with each other as we enter the space. So, how you doing today, Aisha? How you feeling?
Oh, child, I am good. A little anxious, but excited. For all this is new and all that is to come. So excited about it all.
Awesome. I'm coming into the space super excited and super exhausted. Okay. I've been functioning like a true Queen Bee. And that comes with a lot. So I'm holding space for both excitement and exhaustion and being honest and transparent because that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So today we're going to give y'all a little scoop. Anybody that's new to the village or the community to understand who we are. So It Takes a Village Collaborative is a nonprofit organization that's focused on holistic wellness for Black and Brown women across the diaspora. We like to support women in their healing, in their joy, in their relaxation and rest, and just coming back to themselves. And we've been doing it for 6 years now.
Ooh, 6 years.
So 6 year we here.
All right.
From the beginning, we had so many people say like, you all need to start a podcast. And I was like, wait. Let's crawl before we start walking. So now we're 6, we're running. We're not even walking anymore.
I don't even know when we walked. We just started running.
So we're here. But yeah, we host retreats. We have community circles. We have community cohorts and events for people to really start doing the deeper work. And our approach is self-care beyond the surface. So we like the cutesy bubble baths and face masks and yoga, but we use that to get people to have the real conversations. As a Black community, we don't talk enough. As Black women, we don't talk enough about the real stuff. So that's what we're here to do, and that's what we've been doing. So you want to tell the people what Queen B.E.E stands for?
Well, Queen B.E.E stands for Beautiful, Enlightened, Empowered Conversations or Talks, right? And so we're coming together as a community of women just to have a safe space, just to talk about all things that we experience, all things that we struggle with, and just be really real and authentic in our process.
Yeah. So me and Aisha are sisters, and we're going to get into that in a second. Clearly, I'm the more outgoing, outspoken sister. But this podcast is going to show you all who we really are, our true personalities, our expertise, and just how we show up in the world as Black women. I think a lot of what we do and the work that we've been able to create is because of the own journeys we've taken. And if you believe it or not, Aisha's older than me, and she's really the it girl. But she likes to act like she don't know, but she knows. So we're just excited to share who we are, our story, highlight other women in the community that are doing amazing work, and just really begin to elevate the conversations that should truly be happening within our communities around work, family, stressors, marriage, men, all of it. So we're excited. So just a little bit about who we are. Who are you, Aisha?
Who am I? Okay. Well, I am a beautiful, empowered Black woman who is also a mother, an educator, and a sister, right? All the things. I wear all the different hats. I am, like I said, I'm an educator. I've been an educator for the past 20 plus years. Currently teaching high school, but I am an educator beyond high school and now within the community. So I'm excited to, just empower and encourage women around their health and wellness. I also have, I said like 50 million times,
It's
right?
okay.
I
We
am
here.
also an Ayurvedic practitioner. I also, I'm pulling a blank.
You're a mom of three boys, one girl.
Yes,
You're a
three boys,
wife.
one. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for helping
You're a
me out
sister.
because I'm pulling a blank. I am a sister. I am also
A shea butter lady.
yes, I am a shea butter lady. I'm an entrepreneur. I love to tinker. I tinker with all types of things. But I'm mainly and really excited about the last endeavor that I've recently taken on, which is a yin yoga practitioner.
Hmm.
So that's a little bit about me, and thank you for helping me out.
See, that's why we're here.
Um,
Who am I?
who are you, Shoa?
I am Shawadagad. Okay. And I am a daughter, an aunt, a sister. I am also a creator.
Mm-hmm.
I am also an entrepreneur, a nonprofit leader, a change maker.
Yes.
I feel like my name alone speaks volumes to who I am. My name means may all the people of Shoa bow down to me or praise me, and it's Ethiopian. It's a province in
Mm-hmm.
Ethiopia. And for so long, I had a rough time owning my name. So being able to own my name and be comfortable in it and recognize that I'm named after a warrior, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally here fighting and fighting in a healthy way for our people, for our community. So that's who I am. And one of my favorite quotes is from Barack Obama, and it says, "If you want to see change in your community, you get to be that change."
Yes.
So I've been anchored in that and moving in that. And today, I like to say that I'm lighter. I'm a light, strong woman,
Mm.
and I'm moving in my lightness, and I'm learning how to do that. And one of our guests you'll hear from, Dr. Reynolds, told me earlier this year that I need to accept myself and my greatness fully.
Mm.
So I am that as well, and I'm leaning into that.
Yes.
So that's who I am.
That's some wisdom
As
there.
far as my background in wellness, I have a social work degree, a master's in social work, a master's in public health. Never thought that I was going to be doing therapy or anything like that. But God put me on this path. So now I'm a therapist,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a meditation instructor. I have a whole business that's around holistic wellness. Never dreamed of it.
Yeah.
But God told us that wellness is what our community needed, and we leaned into it and we held space for it, and that's why we're here. So, super excited.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that brings me to the next conversation topic around how did we get here with wellness? Like, how did that even become a thing? How did we even get here as sisters to be doing this together?
Yes. Well, I know initially it started with me going through my process, my truth, just coming into a realization of self that I was not happy where I was or contented with where I was. And so I started to seek and research ways in which to heal. And once I started that process, I realized that a lot of it stemmed from us not having courageous conversations within our village,
Mm,
within our community, and just talking about all the things. And so Show and I started having those conversations, especially with me struggling with um, my physical health and well being. I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, which is mainly one of the disease that stems from stressors,
mm,
right? And so, me not even acknowledging or even being aware to acknowledge that that was a factor or a thing because I was just functioning in fight or flight mode without really acknowledging what it was. Um, I had to go in and do the work, and I refused to own that diagnosis. So I sought out holistic wellness, and in that in that that deep dive, I I started searching out ways in which that I can also learn and educate my community, and then we started having those conversations around health and wellness, and we need to have a space where we can hold space for women to do just that,
mm-hmm,
and that led to us talking about Queen B.E.E Talks, right?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I had a dream. I saw the bee, all the things, and I went to show like, show. I dreamt about it, and I got to do this, and we got to come together and figure out a way to do this because I always tell her she's the Aaron to my Moses because
Mm.
she got the gift of gab, I don't, and also, she's like a little Issa Rae, like in in today's time, and so it was just a beautiful auspicious intervention where we came together in real time with just all the things that we had going in our mind, or what was sent to us divinely
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
do. So
Yeah. And it's so interesting that, like, just through us having conversations as sisters and being real with each other, like I said, Aisha's older than me, but oftentimes was a guide for me. She's one of my sisters that always seemed to have it together. So I wasn't even aware of the health issues or even the postpartum that she was
yeah,
facing
yeah.
after she started to have her kids. I didn't know about none of that. And we would just talk. And I more so
Mm-hmm.
came to her like, oh, I want to have a nonprofit. And I've seen you talk about that. I've seen you work in the community. And I think that we can have like aligned visions and let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
And we started with ourselves. We were like, oh, but as Black women, we need a space. We need
Mm-hmm.
something for us. And then I believe, honestly, our own journey. So she was on her journey with her diagnosis, and I was finishing up grad school in COVID-19. And I was at my parents' house because I moved back home. And it's like my textbook started to come to life. My nieces and nephews was crashing out. My parents were of the age that they were warning like those people shouldn't be exposed to people outside. My
Mm-hmm.
sister was um, an essential worker, so she was consistently going outside. And I was just like, what the hell? Like, how did I go from reading about all of this to this being my truth?
Mm-hmm.
And it pushed me into self-reflection because I realized that I was burnt out and I wasn't happy and I couldn't keep going that way. Because one thing that happens is when you are forced to slow down, your body starts to tell you things and
Mm-hmm.
you start to feel so tired and exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't know what to do with that stillness or that exhaustion.
Yeah.
And the walls were closing in, the space was getting smaller because I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't show up and just kind of mask it. That I met a woman in December of 2019, Phyla, who was a life coach. And I was so inspired by what she was saying. I was like, oh, we're going to work together, not realizing that she was going to become my life coach.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on a journey of self exploration as well, started working with her. Then I started working with Miss Reynolds because I was like, I need something else. I need something a little deeper. I don't know what's going on. So I started, I did virtual Reikis, and it was just very telling.
Yeah.
And then our session around Queen B.E.E Talks, we had a variety of talks that we just hosted.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones around wellness were the ones that picked up the most. The women attended it. They were interested. They were engaged. And as COVID hit, we began to be able to hold space for women
Mm-hmm.
to slow down and do the work and be in community and not feel alone
Yeah.
in the process. And we had some real conversations. We was talking about womb health, miscarriages, infertility,
Mm-hmm.
all of that stuff, because those conversations weren't happening in our community. So that's how we got here.
Yeah.
Then it turned into a retreat, and it's evolved, and it's just exciting to see where it's going. And it's exciting to see so many Black women be willing to pause
Yeah.
and take the time for themselves
Yeah.
and seek out the support. So that's super, super exciting.
Yes, definitely.
But given that we started this because we felt like there was a gap, what was the gap that you were seeing? What was the things that you were experiencing?
The gap that I initially saw was that no one was talking about the issues that were just present and that were just so relevant to my sister friends, right? No one was talking about postpartum. Like, I remember experiencing it, and then one night after, this is like 3 years into motherhood, and I was pregnant with my fourth child, and I was talking to one of my girlfriends, and she was telling me a little bit about the difficulties she was having, and that she was, she had spoke to a therapist, and she was experiencing all the different symptoms, and I'm sitting there like, wait a minute. You said this, you said that. That's what I'm dealing with, And I was like, I don't remember this because my background is counseling psychology. I don't remember this in the DSM-4, right? Yeah, that's how old I am. It was 4. Now it's probably like 6 or whatever. I don't even know. But nonetheless, she was speaking to that, and I was just like, why are we not talking about these things? Why are we not having these holding spaces to talk about all these courageous things? And even going through marriage, I was just being blindsided left and right with just the different experiences of marriage. And I thought it was, pretty cookie cutter, pretty straightforward. And I was just like, I called my mom one day and I was like, Mom, you didn't tell me about this and this and this of marriage. Like, what? I thought, where's the book? Where's the blueprint? And she was like, no, it's life experiences. But, she's from a generation where they didn't necessarily have those out loud conversations like how we are starting to have, or my generation was open to having. The generations after us, they're just like,
oh, we just outside.
Y'all outside.
We outside.
Everything is just no holds bar.
Yeah.
But I realized that was a common thing. That it was not. There was no real safe space held for those courageous conversations or those real conversations, just in transparency and authenticity. Like, it's not easy. And so I found myself in different circles with my friends, my married friends or my mother friends, or, and we were just having these little intimate conversations. And I was just like, there's so many women that don't understand sisterhood enough to have these conversations or even know how to go about it. But I have that blessing because I have 6 sisters.
Right.
So,
and that's something that we often take for granted is that we come from such a big family.
Yeah.
Right. We got 6 sisters, 1 brother. Our parents have been together since high school. It's just like we grew up so tight knit that when we started interacting with friends that became family, some of the things that were common to us wasn't common to them.
Yeah.
But even though we grew up in such a tight knit family, we have so many sisters, we still weren't talking about the real stuff.
Yeah.
We were very much so living life, enjoying life together, and not experiencing life. And now I feel like in 2025, we're finally as sisters calling each other out and saying like, sis, you tripping, or you seem a little depressed, or you should probably go talk to that lady. I love to tell people go talk to that lady because they need to. But yeah, so I just think that even our own journeys have allowed our family to evolve and how we show up for each other and talk about it. And how raw and real we get with each other.
Unapologetically. And I love that too. Yeah.
So one of the things that's beautiful about the experiences we hold is that it creates sisterhood, it creates community, and we use the circle process. And like I said earlier, our approach is self-care beyond the surface. Yeah. So what does that mean to you?
Self-care beyond the surface. It's a process that is lifelong, right? Because we experience different situations in different seasons. And in those situations and in those seasons, we go through a process of awareness, acceptance, and change. And if we don't honor those stages in the process, we're stagnant in one, right? Where we can be aware of what's going on, but kind of in denial or not wanting to face the truth. So if you go deeper and you go beyond the surface with awareness and do the work to understand what it truly means to be aware, then you can take yourself to the next level of even accepting those ugly truths and doing the shadow work to just look at yourself in the mirror like, it's okay. I don't like this, but it's okay. At least I know what it is that I don't like, and I can do the work to change it. And so that's ongoing because life be lifing.
Yeah, and healing isn't linear.
No.
I think that's the big thing. I think it's very trendy now where we talk about healing, wellness, soft girl era, all these things. But that stuff requires deep work. It requires you to really look in the mirror and be like, okay, I want to accept the things that I can't change, but I'm willing to change the things that I can. You know, so it requires you to really do that deep work. And that's why we created this approach, because we realize it's in stages. It happens over and over and over again. You can heal in one space and it leads you to another part that you got to heal. And it's just a process. And I think that one of the beautiful things is that so many women gravitated to the work that we did. So many people support the work that we do. And I just will never forget one of the first retreats where I had a coworker come, and at the end of the retreat, she was like, Showa, I'm leaving my job because it doesn't align with me. And I realized in this space, like, I have something bigger that I need to approach and do. And she went on to be the vice president of a company because she recognized that she was aware that she wasn't happy at her job. She was aware that she was burnt out and tired, but she finally accepted the truth that she wasn't happy and it was okay for her to not be happy. So like transformational stuff happens in our spaces. And we actually have a few things coming up. So I'm gonna do some shameless plugs. We do free meditations online.
Yes.
We have a mommy experience that's about to happen
Mm-hmm.
in collaboration with some amazing organizations. That information will drop on Wednesday, so I'm not going to put anything out.
Okay.
This year, we had the opportunity to go international
Yes.
with retreats.
Mm-hmm.
So we got an announcement coming in November as well, this month, where we'll be talking about our upcoming international retreat. So
Yes.
we're super excited. We got a lot on the table, a lot coming up. So
Mm-hmm.
get excited. What
Yeah.
excites you the most about what's coming for us?
um, what excites me most is taking it outside of the box, right? Taking it international. And also, yes, we can tap in here and tune in here within America, but it's a different frequency in the US. So to go global and really tap into the energies that are in other spaces like the Caribbean, that's where we trying to take it. Um, because it's very healing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the land itself is very healing, and for us to do different work within that to kind of tap and tune in and turn on to all that it has to offer with our approach with going with self care beyond the surface, it's just exciting. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
excited to show people what it can look like beyond
Mm-hmm.
our usual I guess our usual lens, our usual scope. So
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to hear you say that. And I'm going to get real for a second because being in business with your sister is not easy.
no.
Being in business with family is not easy.
Mm-mm.
So I want to know what would you name as a major, not a major, but as a grow area for us as we've been working together, and what has been a glow area for you with us working together as sisters?
Grow. What is my grow? Um, just allowing myself to trust the process, right? And be comfortable in the evolution of it all because it's sometimes terrifying.
Mm.
And show is more like, oh, she's about it, and I'm just like, wait a minute, breathe. You real, real, real. She just moves at a whole different pace, and
Mm.
I'm more laid back, take it easy, like Sunday morning. I got that type of soundtrack playing in my head, and she's more something else. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like big energy.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you a whole big.
I think for me, a growth has been accepting that, right?
Mm.
Accepting that we move differently.
Mhm.
We are two different people and we move at two different paces, and also that we live two different lifestyles and we're from two different generations. So I think for me, like over the past 6 years, it's been a learning curve to just understand you in a workspace.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also like how they be like Instagram versus reality, right?
Yeah.
So I saw my sister one way, but I didn't know the real inside scoop of your life.
Mm-hmm.
But working with you has given me a front row seat to see what you experience, all that you carry, and all that you are.
Yeah.
And with that, I have to lean in with grace,
Mm-hmm.
with compassion, with understanding, and be willing to be like, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. I feel like also as sisters, I've had to learn how to pivot.
Mm-hmm.
And the power of the pivot.
Yeah.
And I mean, earlier this year, she threw me a curveball, or maybe it was a few months ago. And I was like, baby, if you had told me this about 3 years ago, we wouldn't be here. But everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a continued push for me as a leader
Mm-hmm.
to know how to work with family, how to work with people that are not family. It's different.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times when you're working with family, you want to give the benefit of the doubt. You want to make sure they good. You don't want to hurt nobody's feelings.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm learning the balance of like,
Both.
This is family, but this is business.
Yeah.
And I think the more evolved your business gets or your organization gets to a point, you got to kind of put that hat on because you can't really, you got to think facts, not feelings, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like this year has been a year of kind of like acceptance, that theme of accepting
Yeah.
and honoring and being okay with what is. So,
Yeah. Which
yeah.
leads to the glow, right? Just the reality. Like my glow is that I'm walking in my truth.
Mm.
I'm walking in more self-awareness and more comfortability with who I am and who I've become, and stepping into that change unapologetically.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so for me, that's a huge glow for me because I shrunk myself to fit into spaces that didn't serve me. So, or not even that, not just that, but also just saying, okay, I'm no longer it no longer fits me.
Mm.
So I've outgrown it. So it's okay to move forward and be confident and then be comfortable in it and speak to it courageously.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a glow, definitely for me. That even though it was a jagged pill for you, for it was a jagged pill for her. It will benefit us both. For me
Mm-hmm.
to move in that. And I get to show up in ITAV, um, with all the glory that I know I have, and all
Mm-hmm.
all the goodness that I know I have to offer, and put my energies into that particular
Mm-hmm.
aspect of the business. So.
Yeah, yeah. I think a glow for me is just definitely how I'm able to handle all the things that come at me.
Mm-hmm.
And I really do lean into the practices that I've learned in
Yeah,
this work. I
yeah.
feel like I am so much more in tune with myself and my body, my mind and spirit, that like when things come at me, I'm able to pause and say, you know what? Let me just pray
Mm-hmm.
before I gotta lay somebody out. There's
Mm-hmm.
no reason for me to.
Yeah.
And recognizing that everything is supposed to divinely happen. And when you level up, things shift and things shed and things change. So
Yeah.
when you told me, well, she basically told me that this was bigger than what she ever imagined. So let's start there. And this is in the middle of a staff meeting that we were having. But anyway,
It was a us meeting.
us meeting. But that's another thing. When you have family, every phone call can turn into a meeting.
Yes.
But it was actually an actual meeting, and she
Yeah.
just kind of like told it to me. But one of the things is I already knew. I already saw it. I already felt it, and I've been communicating it to you. But it still caught me off guard. It still shook me.
Yeah.
It still caused me to be like, well, damn, am I supposed to keep pushing this forward? Like what am I supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
Um but right after I got off that call, I got on an interview to speak at Taraji P. Henson's Foundation's conference. And it was literally like I was running late to that meeting because of our call. And they were like, oh, we were just about to hang up. And I got on the call and I killed the interview. And I was like, no, this is what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So in all of that, I think one of the biggest takeaways from our work that we've been doing and everything is that it starts with us.
Mm-hmm.
And because we've done the deep work and we continue to do it, we're able to shine that light to everybody in our community.
Yeah.
And when moments like that happen, or when the plan that you thought was your plan goes off course, you're able to just accept it,
Yeah.
and move in it, and grow in it. So thank you for sharing your story and just your perspective. All right. So if you've been to any of our Queen B.E.E Talks experiences, you know that we check in and we check out. So we always end with our Honey Reflections. And Honey Reflections is an opportunity to just pull some tea from the jar and see what it is Spirit is telling us to do in the moment. So for the sake of this experience, we are going to be focusing on the 4 A's: aha, appreciation, apology, or acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to see what tea is brewing for us. So we got our jar and we got our tea bags. So go ahead, Aisha. Let's see what you got.
Okay. I got a aha. So a aha for me, is just simply for me to honor my truth, trust the process at all times. All is in divine timing, all is in alignment, and for me to simply breathe through it all. That was a gem that I got from Miss Reynolds. That's one of my mentors, our mentor. Um, and yeah, just trust in the process.
Okay. Let's see what y'all got for me. An apology. So I think y'all want me to apologize to her, but she should apologize to me. But an apology, I think that honestly, in this moment, like I started with my words being excited and exhausted, I want to apologize to myself. I want to apologize to myself for feeling the need to go as hard as I'm going, to have myself in a space of survival when I don't need to, because I'm thriving, and recognizing that the pause is just as important as the leap. So today I'm apologizing to myself because I deserve rest.
Yeah.
I deserve to relax. I deserve to be in all of my glory and all of the things that I've accomplished, and recognizing that like I don't got to prove myself to anybody. So it's not that I'm like self-loathing, but I do think that I deserve an apology because today's a big day, right?
Yeah.
It's our first episode, and we've done so much and we've gone so hard, and we're here.
Yeah.
We're literally here. So apology to me, apology to you for.
For what?
I apologize to you for being so rough, and I'll be nicer.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you, Sho.
It's
I
on
accept
camera,
your
so I got to do it
apology.
now. But
Yes.
thank you all for tuning in to our first episode of Queen B.E.E Talks. We have a lot in store for you. We just wanted to take time to get an opportunity for you to know who we are.
Yeah.
And next up, our next episode, I will actually be sitting down with our program director of social justice initiatives, a really good girlfriend of mine, and we're going to be talking all things overachievers, being in business as Black women, and also working together as friends, because that's oftentimes something that's hard to come by. But she's definitely a gem,
Yes.
in my ace. So I'm excited for that conversation. So stay tuned. It's going to be a great season. Thank you.
Thank you.